Hi, I'm Bob Lederer, and welcome to Pharma Research VIDEO Report, where pharmaceutical, healthcare, biotech, and medical device market researchers go for news, insights, and commentary about their fields that they know they can't find anywhere else. Let's get started. According to MedCity News reporter Dan Verrill, plans for many more health insurers to join the ACA Healthcare Exchange have been announced across the country, and yet Accenture is reporting private healthcare insurance exchanges, quote, are experiencing hypergrowth, end of quote. And it is believed that enrollment could exceed those gained on the public exchanges in the long term. This year, Accenture is estimating 3 million individuals could get their insurance from private exchanges, which some employers are viewing as a potential recruiting benefit. Consumer experiences along an array of issues with the new private exchanges like shopping environment, choice and flexibility, diverse product offerings, and support from the exchange will be an important factor moving forward. Next, reading new medical literature is seen by 98% of physicians as important to very important to their practice. And 75% of physicians change their clinical practices, they say, quarterly or maybe even monthly, based on that new medical material. Those data come from a new Doximity survey. That is the good news. Now for something that tamps that down a bit. The Journal of the American Medical Library Association reports over 7,000 articles are being published every month. And Doximity co-founder Nate Gross says, quote, medicine has a too long, didn't read problem. It would take 20 hours of reading for the average physician to comb through everything published in their subspecialty, end of quote. Next, a Decision Resources report entitled The $300 Billion Elephant, Strategies for Addressing Patient Non-Adherence recommends that pharma companies factor medication non-adherence interventions into their drug development process. The study claims that packaging and information inserts that specifically focus on minimizing side effects and rapid, durable efficacy could support and help the estimated 75% of prescription drug consumers who report some form of medication non-adherence. Moving on, motherboard.vice.com is reporting that the University of Liverpool researchers are building the Enhanced Infectious Disease Database, which they call the world's most comprehensive database describing human and animal pathogens, which can be used to prevent and tackle disease outbreaks around the globe. InCrowd peer-to-peer is a secure, compliant place where physicians can query colleagues, even with open-ended questions in a confidential, double-blinded setting, and it's now available from InCrowd. The app is downloadable from the Apple Store, and users are personally and professionally validated. The app also empowers doctors to complete health-related micro-surveys for which they are paid an honorarium. Next, Kantar Health Brian Mondry is a keen observer of the entry of giant outsiders into the pharmaceutical and healthcare information sector. We're talking about people like Google and Apple, and it's prompting a conversation that we had with him about this situation and related matters.
I think it's great. The more players are getting into this market of wearable technology, the bigger the market's going to grow. So, I mean, there's already a lot of players out there in the field. I mean, even Nike dipped their toes into this with their Nike Fuel Band. But now with the addition of Samsung and Google and Apple entering this ecosystem, I mean, the more players in the field, the wider the field's going to get. So basically, I'm not looking at any specific company. I'm looking at the category as a whole. So the influx of new players is going to lead to better technology, less intrusive technology, and more affordable technology. And that's how the market's going to grow. So the more people that are using these wearable devices, the more we're going to be able to draw them in and opt in to share that data with us. So we're going to be getting great data, and by combining that data with data sets coming from more traditional methodologies, I think we're going to be getting, we'll be able to get that. It's always been elusive to get that real 360-degree view of a patient. And while I'm not saying we'll, can ever really get there, 100%, I'm thinking we're going to be able to get as close as ever been possible in the past, thanks to the fact that all these new players are entering the market.
You said you think we're going to get great data. Why do you think that?
Well, because as opposed to self-reported data, in the, in theory, with these internet-connected medical devices, we'll be getting data directly from the devices themselves, passively collected, so it's automatic for the research participant. So basically, we're getting more time with the research participants without actually requiring more active involvement from them. So there's longitudinal benefits, but there's also accuracy benefits, especially when you're dealing with something like blood glucose levels, or heart rate, blood pressure, weight for obesity. It's vital that we have the most accurate information possible, because very important business decisions are being made based on the insights we get from this data.
Brian, do you have a sense of what the pharmaceutical companies themselves think about these outsiders coming in, and what they make of what's going on and how it might affect them?
I mean, I think they don't see like the Googles or Apples as direct threats. They're not drug manufacturers. I think that they see the possibility of partnering with these companies, to make, to help in matters of compliance, adherence, and whatnot. So I think they're looking at this as an opportunity. But I also think they need some guidance. I think there's a little wariness, like, okay, what do we do? So, hopefully, companies like ours and others are, going to be paving the way and helping them kind of navigate this new landscape.
Okay. My last question, maybe a little bit something out of left field, but is there any downside to all of this that we've just talked about?
The only downside is it requires a real paradigm shift in the research industry, I think. And to me, that's a good thing. But for others, who are kind of entrenched in the old ways of doing things, could be a challenge. I've seen this happen in the advertising industry when the Netscape browser came along, and all of a sudden there was this whole new. All of a sudden, the internet became user-friendly via the World Wide Web. So I saw this happen in advertising, the advertising industry. The people who reinvented themselves and applied the skills to this new medium, they thrived. The ones who kind of resisted the change, not so much.
Our thanks to Brian, and by the way, his email address, if you'd like to get in touch with him, is brian.mondry@kantarhealth.com. That's this week's Pharma Research Video Report. PRVR is in the cloud if you can't view YouTube. And by the way, you can also work around YouTube by downloading the RBDR app from the Apple Store. And with it, you can view Pharma Research Video Report on any iOS device. So you've got multiple options to view our video, and we hope you'll do so. Now, as you also may know, we're looking for sponsors for this valuable video report. It's an outstanding way to set yourself apart from the competition by sharing information about changes in research that are critical to everybody in pharma, healthcare, biotech, and medical devices. And your affiliation with this credible information source delivered in our unique format will add to the novelty and competitive standing of your business, as well as strengthen your messaging in all important social media and even traditional channels. You can contact me at info@rflonline.com, and we'll spell out for you this opportunity in full. Research agencies are always looking for a difference-making angle to get their points across and to gain an edge on that competition. Let us show you how PRVR can help you do both. In the meantime, we hope you'll have a great week And good luck with your research. See you soon.